Hi everyone, and welcome to day 3 in the 30-day coloring challenge. And today I am coloring another unicorn, but you can never get enough unicorns. And also this one has glittered nose and hooves and hair and everything. So I thought I'd show you how to make that technique. But to start off, I'm going to color him with my Copics, and I am coloring him in the lightest blues that I have, which is the B quadruple, B triple and B double zero. A little thing about the B's, the B blues, they are almost towards a little bit of a green tone, but I do really like them. They have a really nice color. I start off by adding my shadows. In this case, as the horse, it's a unicorn. As the unicorn is facing towards the left corner, I'm choosing to put my shadow or my light in the left corner. And therefore the shadows will kind of come from the lower right corner. So everything that is towards right or towards bottom is getting a rounded shadow, and everything that is behind something or by something get a shadow on the left side towards what it is behind, basically. That is how I think about shadows anyway. There are two different kinds of shadows that you can think about. One is what we call a rounded shadow. That is basically how the light falls on a rounded object. So if you hold up an apple, you will see it will have kind of a lighter area, and then as it goes towards the shadows, it will get darker, and that is kind of the rounded shadow. Then you have the cast shadow, and that is if you put that apple onto a table, you will see a dark shadow on the table from the apple, from where the lights are, or on the opposite side of where the lights are hitting it, and that is a cast shadow. So this unicorn has cast shadows on his two legs that you only see a little bit of, and a little bit of a cast shadow on his neck. I also added teeny tiny cast shadows underneath the hairline, and you can do however you want to. You can add a lot of cast shadows or a little cast shadows. When it comes to rounded shadows, you have the legs and you have the tummy, you have the neck, and you have kind of the head. Those are the part that has rounded shadows, and those are on the right or lower part, and I kind of make them try to make them look like the thing is rounded. So on his little legs, the shadows are a little bit like triangles, while on his body it is more like C shape, how I add the shadows. I also add multiple layers to be able to get kind of a cool effect, to make it look like it's more rounded and to get the blending. So again, I'm using 2 layers, and I gradually, on the first layer, I'm using a little bit of the darker, a little bit of the medium, and a little bit of the lighter one, while on the second layer all of those colors get a little bit more, so that they overlap each other a little bit, so that they kind of get a better blend. So for the unicorn's mane and tail and hooves and nose, I am using my RVs because I love my RVs. When I got my Copics, the RVs was one of those colors that I used the most. I think it was one of the kind of color combinations, was one of the first I got in the box sets, but also I had a pattern paper pack called Bohemian Bazaar by Graphic 45, which the BV20s really worked with. So I have a bunch of cards on my blog, but also on here on YouTube from I think like 2013, where I used this specific color combination a lot. I was crazy. Everything I did had this color combination. I kind of cooled down, but I think the E40s right now are what my RV20s was back then. But one of the reasons why I chose this color scheme here is because it matched the gel pens I'm going to use for my glitter effect. So for the lightest color, I'm using RV21, and while I'm adding this on, I get this like, no, this doesn't work feeling, because I feel like it is too close to the others' colors. But this is where waiting and letting things dry actually pays off, because this RV21, it dries much lighter than the RV23. That is the color that I feel that it's basically looks the same as. They will actually dry very differently. So when they are finally dried, you will see that the highlights, which is the RV21, really is very light compared to the RV23 that I'm putting down as the mid-tones. Yeah, that was all I had about this part of the coloring. So the next thing I'm going to go in with is my black Jelly Roll pen, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of a dot to the eye, and then it's all time for the sparkle effect or glitter effect, or what you want to call it. So I'm not using glitter, however I'm using a metallic Jelly Roll pen. This is from the Metalic set. I will be all the pens, both the Copics but also the specific jelly rolls, are listed in the description down below. And what I'm doing here, I'm adding a lot of dots, and in the shadowed area I'm adding a lot of them, while when I'm going towards the medium colors I kind of make them more separate from each other. And then I'm going in with this pink, which is a Toya, which is Spica pen, which is kind of Copic's glitter pens. And then I'm going in and doing dots in the medium and a few in the highlight area. So a lot in the medium, a few in the highlight area. Just as with the dark, I had a lot in the shadows and a few in the medium. And to finish this off, I'm gonna go in with my little white gel pen. And as you saw there, I was warming the nib up on my finger so that the white gel would kind of flow a little bit better, so I would get a little bit better dots. The first dot I put down was like half dots, so if you warm it up on your finger, it can flow a little bit better and it's easier to make the dots. This is where I add a lot of white dots in the highlight area and a few dots in the mid area and 1 or 2 in the most shadowed area, but hardly any at all in the deepest shadows, because you wouldn't have that much reflection. The white kind of represent the reflections on the glitter. And the last thing I'm doing is those reflective little stars. There are 4 poked stars, and the way to do them is kind of make a little bit of a rolling motion to make a little bit of a bigger dot, so you have a little bit of yellow, and then you kind of just flick your pen through that gel, and that will give you these tapering glittered effect stars. Well, that was the whole glitter effect and whole video. I want to thank you so much for watching. And I said everything, all the details are listed in the description down below. There will be links for different videos, both here and up in the corner and down in the description. If you have any questions, just comment down below. If you want to see more like this, just hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.